Hi guys, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the fiber powder nutritional supplement. This information can be found in this book. If you want to, you can follow along. All right, so let's talk about the fiber. This month, this is free. So if you buy 125 PV on loyalty rewards, it comes free for you. So you'll have 3 packets of samples to try. It's pretty easy to use. So, I feel like with a modern diet, that there's a trend for high protein, low carbs, which creates a low fiber diet, and it causes a lot of health problems. And so a lot of people need fiber. So this here is a high source of fiber that's very easy to use and accessible. So according to the American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, even the healthy lifestyle, healthy diet, people only get half the amount of the fiber they need. So the FDA recommends 25 to 38 grams of dietary fibers every day, depending on your age, weight, and gender. So here, with one serving, you get 6 grams of fiber. So if you want to do 1 in the morning, 1 in the evening, and if you're already eating healthy, you're getting lots of fiber. You probably get enough. Okay, but if you're having problems going to the bathroom, maybe do it more regularly. Take more regularly. Okay, so it's made from apple fiber, tapioca fiber, flaxseed, diagram, the citric acid, lemon oil, stevia, and natural flavor. I'm glad that doTERRA put in a high level of vitamin C. It's actually 200%, 220% of vitamin C that you need per day. And because we're working on the gut, giving your body the extra vitamin C boost will help with immunity. So, fantastic. I noticed that the more I use the oils and all of these supplements, the less sick I am. And if I do ever get sick, it's kind of a little bit of a feeling of tiredness. And then the next day, my body is back to normal. So super easy to use. 1 scoop for 10-ounce water, okay, and drink immediately after you make it. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Here just a list of the physical benefits. Digestive, of course, okay, to help with regular bowel movements. Helps with the healthy microbiome in the gut. Okay. Helps with cardiovascular health. Good heart health, helps you live longer. Helps you with your immune system. Okay, healthy gut, healthy immune system. Helps control your appetite. So when you have cleaner gut, your body's able to send messages to your brain telling you that you're full or you're hungry, and you just be able to read your body better. All right. It helps improve blood sugar levels, and it helps with weight management. Okay, so if you're looking to maintain healthy weight, it's a good idea to take the fiber. And fantastic for healthy cholesterol. And remember, cholesterol is about inflammation. So when we reduce the inflammation in our body will have less cholesterol problems. Cholesterol is like bandages for the inside of our body. Okay, it's the actual what do you call it? Plaque. That's the problem. Okay, so we have healthy metabolism as well. Metabolism is about energy. So hopefully the more you do this, the more energy you get. Alrighty, guys. So on the emotional, spiritual level, we need to address that too. Otherwise, we're doing half a job, right? So let's look at this. It helps improve the digestion of life. Okay. So fiber powder improves digestion of life. Sometimes we may feel impatient with life and may be tempted to rush ahead to the next thing and then the next thing after that. Before long, we become tired, discouraged, and overworked. Fiber powder reminds us to slow down and balance our pace through life. So, what is the rush anyway? Sometimes we just need to ask that question, and really it's not like a huge emergency. I don't know why we have to do, a million things every day, right? So guys, if you buy a scan up and you get fiber in your report, consider working on the emotional and spiritual side as well. Okay. Allow yourself to feel protected against the negative pull of society's perceived expectations and opinions. So like the society says, you have to be super productive, you know, do a lot of things, be very busy. Okay. But God reassures us that we can afford to take a moment to taste the sweetness and enjoy the moment. I feel peace and satisfaction in your achievements and creations so far. So just pause and say, good job, me. I'm doing okay. You know, I'm doing great. So far, so good. Okay. So instead of moving on to the next thing, moving on to the next thing, just give yourself a moment to digest life. So notice good things in your situation and in those around you. Sometimes it is best to go slow to go fast. If you take your time to set your life in order, you will travel through life with much more ease. So you know how sometimes people have constipation, they're holding on to their worries and the negativity too long, or sometimes people have the opposite problem. You know, they just haven't allowed themselves to fully absorb what needs to be absorbed. So permit yourself to understand and apply the current lessons to your life before you jump ahead to the next phase of life. If necessary, use the new knowledge to calibrate your life, recalibrate your life so that you can move forward with energy and enthusiasm. So lots of energy so you can enjoy life better. Okay. Recognize that you don't have to do it all alone. I think there's a tendency to feel like you're alone in everything. Right. There are plenty of inspired helpers around you. There are many around you who can and will help you get rid of the debris standing in your way as you seek to simplify life. So I call this the village mentality. You know, just let everybody around you be part of your life and help you sort things out and stuff. So fiber powder invites you to sort out your relationships, organize your home, simplify your schedule, and take care of your health. Sorting out your relationship means, you know, mend things that, you know, that we've had rifts or whatever, and, you know, sort it out pretty much, and feel peace. So doTERRA fiber is a source from Whole Foods. So I mentioned it earlier already, and it's a fantastic macronutrient, and it supports the different health functions in the body. Anybody want to add anything here today, you know, makes a connection in your mind? We're good. All right, so let's list out the negative energy that it needs to release: impatient, rushed, panicked, overworked, overcomplicate, unsafe, and unsatisfied. Okay, so it's awesome. All right, it really helps you feel more satisfaction. Okay, the negative thoughts and beliefs: if I don't do it, then it's not going to get done. If I don't get through this quickly, then there will be one more thing for me to deal with later. So you feel like things are piling on. I just have to keep pushing forward. I don't know why, but I always take more on more than I can handle. Okay, so if this is you, then it can create a lot of overthinking, overwork, and you know, it's this vicious cycle. Okay, so let's adopt the positive energy of patient, ease, gratitude, grounded, steady, energetic, enthusiastic, balanced, and intentional. Okay. Intentional parenting, intentional living, intentional everything. Right. Feeling grounded. On Sunday at church, one guy, he made a comment, and he says, you know, God doesn't measure time the way we do. You know, we're the ones that are always rushing. You know, it's not that important to God, you know. So I feel like, yeah, it's true. So things get done in the right time and season, and here we are. We're just so anxious to get worried about the next day. But there's a scripture that says, tomorrow will take care of tomorrow. I'm not quoting it right, but yeah, it's very comforting to think about that. All right, so the positive enlightened thoughts and beliefs. I can live life at my divine happy pace. So other people can, live their pace, so that I don't have to be competing with anybody. Okay, and I can get the most out of my life experiences. Okay, and that's the opposite. Sometimes people are anxious and they can't let go of old stuff. Okay, and God made it so that I can progress, learn, and enjoy life too. So sometimes people don't have confidence in themselves, and they're like, maybe I'm not smart enough, or I'm not enough, so I just have to hold on and squeeze as much out of this as possible. And sometimes that leads to constipation. Anybody want to say anything? All right, so here's some positive affirmations. Oops, I deleted the I. I am energetically and enthusiastically living life to the fullest. With life to the fullest. I am patient with my journey and progression. That's like so peaceful and liberating. With God's guidance, I am focused on what is most important in life. Yeah, I love that. It's a really good reminder. All right, guys. So here are the companion products and oils. Sometimes, people just want to do one thing and it's supposed to fix everything. As effective as each thing is, it's just more effective to work as a complete system. Okay, so to have healthy gut and healthy gut microbiome, you want to use pretty much all of these products. Okay, so you've got the greens. Okay, so that's like 22 different greens, because your body needs all the macronutrients to build on. We have the collagen. Okay, so it just kind of helps you slow down that biological aging. Right, there's 9 different types of collagen in there. And we have the dōTERRA, which is 10 different types of enzymes. The probiotics, okay, that's 6 billion colony forming units. And then the digestion oil, and then you've got fiber. So take all of these, guys. Eventually, when your gut is cleaner and clearer, it's not overwhelming. It's just something that you do every day. It's part of your habit. Okay, but you'll feel so used to that gut being squeaky clean and not bloated and not yucky. You want that feeling all the time, and you have this mental clarity that you need to kind of go back to that whenever you start getting brain fog. You're like, okay, something's off. In the past, I thought that was part of life, stress and brain fog. But now that I know that I can experience that mental clarity, I want that all the time. Yeah. So you can think things through, be able to, work out, organize things, and, create more ease and flow. Anybody want to add anything or say anything here?
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I'm doing the cleanse right now.
Mm-hmm.
Should I add fiber now, or should I just kind of wait till the cleanse is over and then do fiber?
Yeah, it depends on how you're doing with the cleanse. If your body's feeling great, do the fiber now, because I'm doing the cleanse as well, and I do extra fiber, I do extra greens, the collagen, of course, all of these things, and then I do celery seed oil, fennel oil. Yeah, because your body's like, okay, I'm good. The windows and the doors are open, and you feel like, yeah, I can handle it, and do more. But people who are watching, if your body's like, already feeling uncomfortable because you're releasing a lot of toxins and you're feeling like yuck, you've got some heavy metal taste in your mouth, or you're just feeling super tired and super drained some more, then just stick with the 30-day cleanse and restore. Yeah, because
I
sometimes,
also am doing a cleanse. I
Yeah.
started on the 1st, and I take the fiber and the greens every morning.
Yep.
So
Okay.
yeah.
So if your body is great and it's fine with the cleanse, I would add this to it. Yeah. So for me, it's just taking it up another notch. Yeah. But I can really tell the difference. Yeah. So sometimes even like the lifelong vitality pack, when people have had a lifetime of illnesses and medications, even the lifelong vitality pack is a bit much for them, because their body's detoxing and they're feeling yucky already. So just kind of gauge, but if you're feeling great with a cleanse already, you can add this on. Yeah. So you're going to get this free anyways with the 125 PB order. Yeah. So make sure you order before the 15th. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Yeah. It's so good. All right. Another thing I was thinking of is, maybe if you haven't already, you can get your vitals, or blood work done before and then blood work done after the cleanse. So I've had people do that. So pretty good. All right. So here's some discussions that I like to invite you to join me in. What are your thoughts and feelings about adopting the village mentality, where you don't have to do it all alone? So you're doing more things with more people, sharing the load. What do you think about that?
It's good.
Yeah.
Believe in village and family. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it's important. It's going to give us a greater degree of joy. Sometimes people think joy is like the next fun thing, but that fun is not lasting. And it's not this depth or level of peace. You just feel more peace when you've got people and community, all for one, one for all. Yeah. Anybody else? I was just telling my family, my grandma, she had passed out yesterday because she's really old and she had an infection and just a high fever, and then she passed out, and so they called the ambulance, and fortunately most of the kids were there at the house, and they picked one auntie to go to the hospital in the ambulance with her because she can't speak English. And the rest, my sister said it was amazing because within 2 minutes flat, everybody, helped pack the bag for grandma, to go to the hospital. And it's funny because she said nobody talked and coordinated anything. So for the split second, they're like, okay, let's pack. They one rush into the bedroom, one rush into the kitchen, and one rush into the bathroom. And they got food, they've got snacks and socks and clothes and toiletries, and this all in one bag. And boom, my sister was like I didn't even have time to get my camera out to film. Like, this was amazing. So it's like this beautiful village collaborative. You feel for each other, you know what's best for each other, and you take good care of each other. And so I feel like there's a lack of trust in the world. The more modern the society is, the less together they are. I was telling my friend that my aunties and uncles, they have this shared money account, and that they share with each other, take turns using that collective money, and they helped each other build their businesses and build their wealth and paid for homes and paid for schools and stuff. And so, within 20 years, all of them have accumulated a lot of wealth and they've taken good care of each other. We buy a lot of gifts for each other. We come together for parties. We cook, and everyone, potlucks a lot. And my friend was like, wow, because my siblings never buy presents for me and I never buy anything for them. And we hardly get together. My husband's family, they haven't talked for decades, and my kids hate each other. And I'm like, well, I think we need to somehow reintroduce the village mentality again to people, you know. So I feel it's very important. But then you don't have to feel like it's all on you and you have to do everything. And, you know, it's so stressful. Life is so stressful. I feel like with the village, you know, it's all for one for all. And life becomes a lot easier with each other. And ultimately in heaven, that's what we want to be like, okay, like Zion. Okay. So I don't know, it's very beautiful. So
Well, this is some.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that is strange for a lot of people in this country or even Western society, because the individual is stressed so much here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the support of a community is vital to progress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I feel like once upon a time, people were more village mentality, you know, and I think for us, you know, my family, they have a different definition of family. You know, it's like the village is your family. So I grew up with uncles and aunts that were really blood related. But why can't we include more of the human family? So I was down the road just going for a walk today, and I met a Vietnamese family, and 5 minutes later, she was like, "Hey, can I get your number? Let's get together. Let's have food, and let's do this. Like, if you ever need anything, you know, contact me." So I feel like, wow, you know, there's so much love, so much unity. It gives meaning to life. You know, like when you look out for each other, you know, it takes a village to bring up a child, you know. So I feel like it's important. You know, it doesn't take away their individuality. I think, you know, you're still responsible for figuring out who you are. But because you know who you are, you know how you can contribute to the whole. So yeah, if we can balance that, that'll be more effective. Yeah. So one of my friends, she was talking to a psychologist, and my friend, she's studying to be a psychologist herself, and she said there's two thought two what is it two types of therapy. One is, you know, stressing the individual, you know, and individual, you know, you feel like you have to be different and do what's best for you, and then there's one that is what's best for the whole. So one lady, she's, you know, cheating on her husband, and you know, if it was like that, psychologist says, hey, you know, do what's best for you. And she actually said in the video that my friend watched, she actually said, well, what's best for me is going to be what's best for my children. So, you know, I want to be with this new guy, you know, and so it's going to be best for everyone. You know, that's her logic. So, you know, another guy would be saying, hey, you know, what is best for, you know, the whole community. So, you know, this one guy, he's your island, and, you know, you're going to be bored of this island. You want to island hop again. And she's like, that's true. Let's just been doing that. And he says, well, why don't you work on making this island that you're on work? And she's like, oh, okay, I see what you mean. So, yeah, it's good to kind of think about these things. So number 2, how are you going to balance and digest life better? Yeah. So can we simplify life a little bit more? How would you like to go about balancing? Or how have you simplified?
Can I share something, Jade?
Yeah, go ahead, Sierra.
So there was, I've shared this with you before, but there might be other people that haven't heard this story. So there was a time in my life a few years back where I could not have a bowel movement even once a day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I did have them, they were extraordinarily painful. They had to be assisted by me to like literally have one. It was extremely painful, and it was now that I look back, there was just so much going on in my life, and that I literally was not able to digest life as a whole.
Yeah.
And it reflected in my body.
Yeah.
And with the energy balancing that I've learned, along with the products that I'm using to make my body healthier, like using the fiber, like using the lifelong vitality every single day, since I've started with doTERRA, I have never had that problem again, not once. And that is such a blessing for me, because I literally thought I was going to have bowel surgery or something like that. And I mean, it was really frightening. And I remember thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I was in my 40s at that time. And I'm like, I'm not even 50 yet. Like, how am I going to deal with this when I'm old? Like, how am I going to physically do this? I just didn't think it would be even possible. So to just have a digestive system again that works like it's supposed to is I'm not like hugely bloated. Like, I showed a picture that I had taken of myself to my mother-in-law, and she's like, no, that wasn't you. And I'm like, yes, Jean, this was me. Like, this was me just 4 years ago. And she's like, I never knew you had gotten like that. I mean, my stomach, I looked like I was 8 months pregnant. So it is just an amazing blessing now in my life. It sounds like such a funny thing to be happy about, that your digestive tract works correctly, and that you can easily go to the bathroom. I mean, every single morning when I wake up, especially when I'm on my cleanse. Yes. Every morning I wake up and I have a bowel movement. The first thing in the morning, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. I love this so much.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? We just take for granted the simplest things, and when it's taken away, we're like so grateful to have it back. And I know I've been all over the world teaching people, and I'll say things like, make sure you go to the toilet number 2, have a bowel movement 3 times a day. And people are like, what? Like, I'm lucky to have a couple of times a week. And I'm like, no.
That's how I was. I was lucky if I had 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And
and they're like, we didn't know that was not normal. And I'm like, think about it. If food's sitting there in a warm environment for more than 12 hours, just 12 hours, it's festering. But if it's like several days, how bloated, how overgrown the fungus and parasites are in your body, and then what mental fog that you have, and the stress because you're trying to think while your brain is just like so much pressure, and just not pleasant. And you see why people can easily be triggered, easily get mad at each other, and there's just so much
well, because you're unhappy, and when you might not be in physical pain, like, oh, this hurts or something like that, but when your body is in pain of whatever sort, your fuse is shorter, and you're more easily angered, and it's a whole different life. So like my little plug here is that if you aren't already using lifelong vitality and taking the fiber every day, like you should be, because it will change your life. And you will never regret that decision. So for, I know all of us here, we love doTERRA, but for those that may hear this video later, like you really, really, really need to try these products.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And when you don't have your health, really, the rest of your life is not enjoyable. Yeah. So invest in yourself, and then you will be a better mum, and a better wife. Because happy wife is happy life, right? Better sister, better daughter to your parents, and just life will be better overall for you. And the simplest things can make you happy, so you don't have to have all the extra things to make you happy. Just really having that mental clarity, going to the bathroom regularly, right? So after 30 minutes of eating, your body should trigger this digestion, and you should be able to go, and it should be just smooth and easy. But because we're so used to being stressed, so used to carrying the load on our own, you know, we don't have that regular movement. So yeah, so mind over matter, matter over mind. So go ahead and start organizing your life a little bit more, be more intentional about everything. You know, organize your home, simplify, get rid of a lot of stuff, and you'll find that you feel a lot lighter as well. So for me, because I've done this for so long, I can look at people and I actually can tell what their health problem is. My sister, she makes a joke sometimes. She's like, "Oh, Auntie so and so, come talk to my sister. She'll tell you what's wrong," you know. And I'm like, "Jamie, not again," right? But I'll say, "Okay, Auntie, do you have this, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, how do you know?" You know, just kind of just by who they are, by their whole body. So speaking of that, I'm going to do a literal language of the body event in Maryland in a couple of weeks. And in Destin, Florida, in a couple of months, and then in July, I'm going to do one in Utah, and June, I'm going to do one in Arizona. So I'm going to teach you guys how to, you know, read your body, you know, so understand what your body's trying to tell you so that, you know, you balance your health. Okay, so look forward to the details there. Alrighty, guys. You know, if you are interested, for those people who haven't taken the Energy Balancing with Faith course, just please go to this website and register and learn how to, you know, resolve and heal a lot of this health problems and stuff. And not just using these products, but really help yourself at the root. So thank you so much. I'm going to stop sharing here and I'm going to stop the recording as well. All right.